All right, so if you want to see what Marvin Harrison Jr. can really do, watch the highlights, watch the tape, because he hasn't worked out so far in the draft process, as he chose not to participate in the combine workouts, didn't do anything at Ohio State Pro Day today. It's all part of the plan, though, as Matt Miller found out with Marvin Jr. and Sr. Listen to this.
I think the big question, we haven't heard from you guys the last couple months as the NFL draft heats up. What has the process been like since the season ended, since we last saw Marvin play?
It's been a very restful process. It's something we took into consideration from day one, which was, how are we going to prepare for the 2024 NFL season? And I sat down, talked to Junior. I said, listen, we can do one of two things. You can put yourself in the realm of an NFL player now and prepare for the future, or you can get ready to do things that everyone else is doing. And when I explained it to him, we said that, look, when you're a rookie coming in this league, and after you've been playing 3 or 4 years of college football, it's kind of tough to maintain and be strong and have a great, rookie season. So I said, if we just rest, just like every other player or NFL receiver is doing right now in January and February, I think it'll, pay off more for you later on down the line.
And Marvin Jr., what has this been like for you? What have you been doing to stay ready and prepare for your NFL career?
I've been in Columbus with my same trainers I've been working out with my whole college career. Just getting stronger, faster, and like my dad said, resting a lot too. So it's been a very fun process, though.
Matt, Marvin Harrison Jr. let his dad do most of the talking, but what was the vibe there around Harrison Jr. today?
Yeah, he's quiet. I think that was the thing that really stood out. I mean, he did loosen up once the workout started. He was here for the entire pro day, supporting his teammates. He and Z.J. Stroud were both here, but he didn't participate. And when I even talked to his dad last night on the phone, he said, we're handling this process the way that we want to handle it. We've communicated that to NFL teams. There has been no pushback yet from teams. They met with 9 NFL clubs at the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. No one took issue with the fact that he wasn't going to be working at the pro day. In fact, I was told from an NFL team source, they actually reached out to teams and said, if we don't work out at the pro day, is that going to be an issue? They were told, it's not a problem. We've seen you play for 2 years. There's GPS speed tracking. Turn on the tape. So they feel strongly that his decision to not do anything at the combine or the pro day will not affect where he's ultimately drafted.
Yeah. See, what do you think of Harrison Jr. not working out at the combine or his pro day?
I was looking down because I wanted to see what Rome Odunze's numbers were, over 1,600 yards. Malik Neighbors, over 1,500 yards. I don't believe the separation between Marvin Harrison Jr. and those 2 wide receivers is as wide as it was before the last year of football. Now, if you cut on the tape both last year and this year, you know that Marvin Harrison Jr. can flat out play. He can push the football down the field with his speed. We know he can high point it as well. He can beat man-to-man coverage. You've seen all those things. But you will compare those things to Rome Odunze staying on the field at the combine just because he was so competitive. He wanted to get the numbers that he could on the L drill. I coached Malik Neighbors in 7-on-7 when he was in high school. Goes up for a football. A kid splits his lip in half, and I say, Malik, you need to go get stitches. You need to get out. He said, I'll go later, but for right now, I need you to throw me this ball on the next play because I need to score. Those are some of the sorts of guys that he is going to be faced with going up against. Those are the sort of characters and the personalities that other teams will be speaking to. Now, if you cut on the film, all of these guys can play, but we know it only takes one person to have a conversation or to be in the presence of one of these other players and say to themselves, that's the sort of leader, that's the sort of young man I want on my team. Can Marvin Harrison Jr. absolutely do it? For sure. Yeah. But I don't believe there's as big of a separation between himself and those other 2 guys as there once was.
I agree in the conversation of the wide receivers, RC, when it comes to the separation. I think those guys also had better quarterbacks, like Jaden.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's a little bit part. I did not like the fact that he did nothing until I heard his dad explain why. After I heard the Hall of Fame father explain why and the reality of them completely pivoting to hey, we're pros now, I kind of like it and I kind of appreciate it. And I think a lot of the teams that are interested in drafting him, who eventually will draft him, are going to like it. And then the second thing is this, Matt, you mentioned he's quiet, because watching that interview, it's a little awkward, candidly. But 2 guys I played with at wide receiver that were as good as they get were Calvin Johnson and Andre Johnson, both of them incredibly quiet personalities. So I don't want people to think watching that interview that he's not the player that, the expectation level is just because he's a quiet personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we've seen quiet wide receivers, quiet players, period, be absolute dogs. It doesn't matter who talks in the interview, his dad or him. And hell, his dad's a freaking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He should be the person with the microphone talking. But I also want to point to that, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. can make decisions that other players can't because of who can speak for him, because of the respect that his father has. Just a random father or someone who has his son at pro day can't say that. But because Senior is who he is and was who he was, I do believe teams will handle this differently with Marvin Harrison Jr.